Hello, Explore. It's really great to be back with you again and ready for a new term, looking at God's Word, looking at the Bible, and talking to God and doing some crafts and activities. It's still really sad that we can't meet together, but hopefully we can still do some kind of explore using these videos. Well, this term we're going to be looking at a new series. We're going to be looking in the Bible at the book of John. So it's a book written by John, who was one of Jesus's friends. Okay, and it's in the second half of the Bible, and we're going to be looking at Jesus. But first of all, when you go around if you're driving along on the road or walking around a park, do you see different signs that tell you where to go or where not to go or to stop? There's lots of different signs that we see out and about. They might look a little bit like this. Well, signs tell us something, don't they? They tell us what to do, what not to do. They tell us something about where we are. And signs can tell us about people as well. There's lots of different signs that when you look at people, that tells you who they are or what they do. A sign might be someone wearing a name badge. That's a sign that tells you their name or what role they're doing. Maybe someone's uniform. If someone's wearing a policeman's uniform, that's a sign that they're a policeman. Or a builder wearing a hard hat. Lots of signs tell us lots of different things, don't they? And in the book of John, we're going to be seeing lots of different signs about who Jesus is. Okay? So, we're going to hear a story, our first story from John. We're going to be looking at Jesus's miracles, some amazing things that Jesus did, and we're going to see that Jesus is God's promised rescuer, God's son. So that's what we're doing this half term. So let's listen to our first story. I hope you're all sitting comfortably and ready to listen. Let's hear it now. There was a wedding in the town of Cana in Galilee. Jesus was there, and his mother was there, and all his followers. They were all invited to the wedding. When all the wine was gone, Jesus' mother said to him, "They have no wine." Jesus answered, "Dear woman, why come to me? My time has not yet come." His mother said to the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." In that place there were 6 stone water jars. The Jews used the jars like these in their washing ceremony. Each jar held about 100 litres. Jesus said to the servants, "Fill the jars with water." So they filled the jars to the top. Then he said to them, "Now take some out and give it to the master of the feast." So the servants took the water to the master. When he tasted it, the water had become wine. He did not know where the wine came from, but the servants who brought the water knew. The master of the wedding called the bridegroom and said to him, "People always serve the best wine first. Later, after the guests have been drinking more, they serve the cheaper wine. But you have saved the best wine till now." So in Cana of Galilee, Jesus did his first miracle. There he showed his glory, and his followers believed in him. Isn't that an amazing story? What a wonderful miracle. Well, let's see how wonderful it is. I have some water here. Okay, and let's see if what Jesus did was actually a miracle. Right, got some water here. So if I say, right, okay, tap it a bit, maybe. Right, be wine, be wine, be wine, or even juice turn into wine, or squash turn into wine. Maybe blow on it a bit, tap it a bit more. Right, shall we see? Do you think it's going to turn into wine when I pour it out? Shall we find out? Are you ready? Oh! work, did it? Wow, that is an amazing miracle. It's something that no one else can do. How amazing. Jesus' first miracle, he changed water into wine and he didn't even touch it. Wow, this shows us something about Jesus. It shows us that he is God's Son. That's our first point and that action to go with. So let's do it together. Jesus is God's Son. So he is God. He is God's Son and he has that power to change water into wine because he has power over water and over creation, doesn't he? Now, who can remember how many stone water jars there were? Were you listening to the story? Shout out if you remember, and I'll tell you. There were 6. Okay, 6. Well done if you got that right. You were listening really well. And how many litres did each stone water jar hold? Shout out if you remember. It was 100. I can't do 100 with my fingers unless I do 10 of these. That'd be 100. That is a lot of water. That is 600 litres. If 6 stone water jars, each holding 100 litres, that's 600 litres. Wow! Isn't that amazing? Well, let me show you this. So, 6 water jars, so 6 stone water jars, filling them up would be like filling around 800 of these bottles. Okay, so imagine 800 of these all filled with water. Okay, and then they all turn into wine. That is a lot of water to be turned into wine. Wow, how amazing. So the servants obeyed Jesus. They drew the water, took it to the master, and it was wine, not water anymore. And not only that, it wasn't just wine, it was the best wine. It was even better than the wine that they had at first. So Jesus didn't only just turn water into wine, he turned water into the best wine that anyone's ever tasted. How powerful is God's Son? Only God can do that. So Jesus is God's Son. Because we see that Jesus is God's Son, that means we should trust him. That's our second point, okay? Let's do that together. We should trust him. What did the disciples do at the end of the story? Can you remember? They believed. He showed his power and they believed in him. They trusted in him. They saw this amazing miracle that he had done and knew that he could be trusted and he was good and that he is God's Son. Okay, so we can trust in him too, can't we? When we look at all the things that he's done, when we read his book that tells us all about Jesus, okay, we see lots more things about him and shows us lots more things about how he is God's Son, which means we can trust in him and we can show that by obeying him and doing what he tells us to do in the Bible. So when things happen, like things are happening now that you might not like or that scare you or that you don't understand, we need to remember, okay, who is bigger than what's going on. Jesus is bigger and better than all the problems that are going on at the moment. So we can trust in Jesus that he will help us through them, can't we? And how do we do that? How can we ask Jesus to help us through these things? Well, we talk to him, don't we? We pray. Okay. We need to trust in Jesus because he is God's Son. And reading the Bible will help us to trust him even more. Let's thank God for that amazing story we've seen. Let's do our prayer drill. Okay, can you remember it? Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Dear God, thank you so much for your Son, Jesus. Thank you that he showed he is your Son, and that because he is your Son, we can trust in him. Please help us to trust in him when things are going wrong or things that we don't understand. Help us to remember that he is bigger than all of our problems, and help us to read the Bible that tells us more and more about him. Amen. 4. The craft for today is making this water jar that you can colour in, and there's a wheel on the back that you can turn to show the water being made into wine. So you start by printing out the craft. Now you get 3 wheels on here, but actually you only need 1. What you need to do is cut out this bit in the middle, cut round your jar, okay, and cut one of these circles out. Once you've cut them out, make little holes in that so that it lines up at the bottom, and when it turns, it can turn onto the other bit like that. And if you've got a split pin, put a split pin through, but I don't have any split pins at home, so I've rolled up a little piece of paper to make a little tube which I can screw through the middle like so, and then it'll turn. There we go. And then I'll put a bit of tape on that, and then there we go. But before that, you'll need to colour it in. And for this one, you need to do blue on one side and purple on the other, so that you've got water on one side and wine on the other. Once you've coloured it in, you can put it together, and then when you twist the wheel at the back, it will turn the water into wine. I hope you enjoy doing that. There's some other activity pages and a colouring page on the email. I will see you all next week. Bye!